and then they'll blow it.
Yeah. They'll tie they'll be an extra point away from tying the game, and they'll miss it, and
they'll
miss the playoffs.
split the series between Oakland and them, and then they'll miss a field goal to win the division.
Yeah.
In the final game. That's how it's going to play out.
Because of points.
Yeah.
The Raiders beat them by 2 points.
Yeah, because they couldn't make the field goal.
Yeah.
In typical Chargers fashion.
Yes. Oh, man. That'd be great.
Rivers gets intercepted on a Hail Mary to end the game.
Yeah.
Yep. All likely possibilities.
Or they're going to take a knee, fumble the snap, and it gets returned for a touchdown.
Sure.
Yep.
It's still not as bad as Mark Sanchez running into his own player.
It could be.
I don't know that anything will ever top that.
Okay. I have a story that would top that. 7th grade.
Yeah, no, this doesn't count.
Hold on.
I'm talking about a professional sport blunder.
Listen. It was 7th grade, and our modified team, we were playing against Bishop McGinn. And the quarterback for Bishop McGinn turned the wrong way, just stuck his hand out with the ball, realized he turned the wrong way, pulled it back in. One of our linebackers, Travis Eads, says, "Here!" And so he just pitches it to him. And he returns it for a touchdown.
That's bad, but he heard "here," so he probably reactionarily thought it was somebody on his team and did that. Mark Sanchez, in a professional football game, ran into his own guy, causing him to lose the football.
It wasn't just ran into some guy. What did he run into?
His ass of a lineman. That
Sorry,
is
Dan
on a
O'Shea.
different level. That's Bill Buckner shit.
Well, now we have a new young USC quarterback who's going to start year one. And
Potentially.
It can't be any worse than Sanchez.
Hey, Sanchez had some good years with us, man.
He also had some very embarrassing moments.
Hot dog on the side.
In the playoffs, he was absolutely on fire.
All right. So, guys.
So it's a shame that the rest of his career burned out.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Well, that's what happens with fires.
Eventually they end.
Exactly.
Unless you keep throwing wood on there.
Right. So, guys, we're doing something fun this year. Fantasy Football League. The 4 of us.
When are we drafting this, by the way?
We're going to figure that out.
All right.
We don't have that set yet. But the 4 of us are going to be competing in a Fantasy Football League, and we have 8 available spots. Not anymore, as we have given them away.
Good.
All right. The winner of this year's Fantasy Football League will win a jersey of their choosing. Any team, any player. It could be Odell Beckham. It could be Antonio Brown. It could be, if it were me, Sean Lee would be my pick. It could be custom jersey with your name on it and the number 69 because you're a fucking child. Whatever it might be. So the
I'm
way
totally getting that 69 jersey if I win.
As long as the name on the back is 8 something.
Wasn't Incognito 69 at one point? I feel like he was enough of a child to do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But anyways, so there are 2 great groups that I'm part of on Facebook. So for the 4 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, I posted questions. The people who for Friday, Saturday, Sunday were the first to answer. They won entry into our Fantasy Football League. And for the Monday post, it was whoever answered the best and chosen at random was going to be the ones that we let in. However, on Monday, we only had enough intrigue to where we didn't even have to make it random. We had our winners.
Okay.
So, the 2 groups were Sports Jungle. So, I'm going to read the names of the winners from Sports Jungle first. We have Michael Hendrickson, John Richard Day, Mike Rayner, and John Crapple.
Awesome.
Yes. The other group was Savage Sports. It's a group full of savages. The winners are James Harrell, James Waldron, Mike Keller, and Chris Klimzak. congratulations to all of our winners. We will be notifying you tomorrow that you guys are the winners, and we will give you more details when we have our league set up and when we're going to be drafting and all that. So, congratulations to all.
Yes.
Thank you for participating.
Very nice.
Looking
Very
forward
nice.
to kicking the crapple out of him.
That
Guy's name's the best.
Yes.
If I win, can I get a jersey with his name on the back?
Any jersey you want.
All right.
All right.
Nice.
Tony, is there something that's been pissing you off lately?
I think you have a feeling you know what it is.
I've got a feeling.
The thing that's been pissing me off, and this actually transcends sports, okay, in a way. The overwhelming majority of people being thrust into hysterics over certain things is gotten to a point of ridiculous. I mean, you see it. I originally saw it happening with James Gunn and something he said 10 years ago in tweets that, yes, were extremely inappropriate. But mind you, he was a fucking comedian. I don't know if you know this, but they say some shocking things from time to time. So to get overwhelmed by something that somebody may have did or did not do overwhelms me. And now, obviously, anybody who's listening to this podcast is going to know that I have a bias towards Ohio State.
No.
That being said, I am kind of pissed at the immense coverage that we're getting towards Urban Meyer in this situation. Let's keep in mind that Urban Meyer didn't beat anyone. He followed the correct channels. He broke no law and violated no NCAA rule. Maybe he did in Florida, but I don't care about that. But he probably kept some things under the rug from Aaron Hernandez. We found out he was not a great person later on.
Don't forget Cam Newton.
Sure, him too. Anyway, the hysteria now has irritated me. I was irritated when this happened to Paterno. Okay? It's one thing if you want to get mad at Zach Smith. Because, yeah, you're a piece of trash if you beat your wife. Understandably so. You want to get mad at Sandusky? Of course, it's gross. Alright? Justifiable. But if the man goes through the correct channels to notify his superior at the athletic department, that's the way that it's supposed to go. Because then at that point, which obviously Ohio State is having a bigger problem with the fact that they have other people doing some sketchy things around their time, that this is clear that the AD was already trying to protect themselves. Because look at all the stuff that's coming out of Michigan State with the things that their basketball team and their football team is being accused for, but no one's calling for the heads of Izzo or D'Antonio to go out of those buildings, okay? But all of a sudden, Urban Meyer is demanding that he needs to be fired because he went through the appropriate channels, because he should have contacted the police. The man didn't do anything wrong in this situation, and the fact that we have mob mentality towards people to be removed from their jobs because they felt they didn't do anything is getting to the point of sickening, because there is in this country the idea that everything needs to be investigated, and what is determined from the investigation solely should be where the punishment lands. It shouldn't be the fact that there is already a convincement of people who are trying to, before any investigation has been completed, act as if they know what the reality of this situation. It's overwhelmingly frustrating to me, and it just doesn't seem fair. Because you don't fire the boss because the employee hit their wife. That in no other job does this happen. It's not reality. So why is this crap happening now?
I'll tell you why. Because Ohio State is continuously at the top, and when you're at the top, people can only look up to you. And when people look up to you, that's when they get all uppity about how things should be and who should be punished for things. And I had said earlier, I'm going to take probably a surprising stance on it. Should he be fired? No, absolutely not. Listen, as you said, if you go through the proper channels, and we'll talk about, because my support for Urban Meyer is coming from the bullshit that happened with Joe Paterno. All right, now, if someone tells you something or shows you something, they're escalating it to their superior their hands should be clean, right?
That's how it would work in almost any other form of business.
So if it goes up 5, 6 other people, the people below them, their hands are clean, right?
Right, and you have to understand that this is an allegation. There is no way that Urban Meyer has any way of being able to prove one way or another who is actually telling the truth in this situation. There's no way of knowing who is really at fault here or what's happened. There's only what he is being told through another party from his wife on a situation that he's not directly involved with. Did the person have a history? Yes. Could there have been reason to be concerned? Of course. But you bring the allegations to the higher ups to make sure that this gets investigated. And the outrage by certain commentators like Paul Feinbaum, you can go f*** yourself, okay?
Oh, Paul Feinbaum.
I can't stand
him.
First of all, it's already insulting that they have to make it seem like I don't understand that they blow Alabama 24/7 on that channel. And now you've got this dick from the SEC network sitting here talking about how Ohio State needs to go out because of this. I'll tell you one thing right now. If this shit was happening to Alabama, Paul Feinbaum would be singing another tune.
If it were any other team in the SEC, he would be doing the same thing. But because Alabama is the cream of the crop in the SEC, you're right. If this were Florida, if this were South Carolina, Mississippi State, Ole Miss, Arkansas, any of them, Tennessee, does not matter. If it were any team other than Alabama, he'd be saying the same things, I'm sure. But because he roll tides more than anyone else.
Well, yeah, but you also have... and of course you want to chop out the legs of one of your biggest competitions right before the year. And let's make no mistake, Urban Meyer is a great coach. I don't think that this should tarnish his career in any way, shape, or form. What did the man do wrong? That's my question. What did he do wrong, and what more did you want him to do? You wanted him to directly go to the police? Do you think that wouldn't have caused blowback at the school that he works for? At the higher-ups, at the ADA, the board of the directors, all of that nonsense? And let's not disillusion ourselves that if we start opening up closets at every major sporting university in the country, we're going to find some more messed up shit than this.
I mean, look no further than Penn State and Michigan State. I mean...
Yeah, and I don't think things are so rosy up north either.
Well...
I mean, it doesn't really matter right now because Harbaugh can't beat a rival to save his life.
Exactly. So they're going to fabricate some kind of scandal to get him out of there.
Yeah.
Anyways, does this end your rant?
I guess so.
Okay. I completely agree
I
with you.
sincerely mean it, though. Paul Feinberg can go himself.
Paul Feinbaum is the Southern version of Stephen A. Smith.
And the sad thing is, I like that other Southern guy. That former NASCAR dude. What the hell is his name?
I'm going to pretend like I didn't hear you say that.
I know that that's where he started. He's a younger guy, and he covers college football. He actually just seems like he's trying to have a good time and party rather than be... SEC's the greatest thing that ever happened, and they should be in pro level A1.
I don't know who you're talking about, so we're just going to move on.
I'll remember it at a different time.
It's not Alan Bestwick, is it?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not good with names. I just remember Feinbaum because he sucks.
He does suck. Let's have a little bit of fun. Let's cheer this up. Which is more likely? You guys ready to play?
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is more likely? Baker Mayfield has more touchdowns in his preseason debut versus the Giants on Thursday, or interceptions?
Touchdowns because nobody really tries that hard in preseason. But, I mean, I don't...
Touchdown.
Okay.
Not to mention, I don't know what he's going up against. Is he going up against the first string? Is he going up against the second? Like, that changes the argument.
He's getting 2 quarters. At least 2 quarters.
That, to
is
me,
what
sounds
Hugh
like
Jackson
he's
said.
playing the second team.
Probably. So, I'm not sure.
So, I would say more touchdowns, especially against our second team. Because we're still trying to figure out who the hell's playing free safety.
That's a good point. That is a good point.
Touchdowns.
Touchdowns? Yeah. I'm going to say touchdowns as well. All right.
I mean, I kind of hope it's interceptions, but I'm being realistic here.
Okay. Which is more likely? Robert Griffin III plays more games this season, or Lamar. Let me rephrase that. Plays in more